Hi, I'm Merle Miller with Stewardship Property Solutions, and I wanted to take a minute to connect with you about how to go about purchasing a rental property as an investor. We here at Stewardship Property have found that it's very important to understand the market conditions that you're in when you go about potentially making offers on properties. I've also found that it's important to understand your own risk tolerance as an investor. Sometimes over-leveraging oneself can lead to anxiety, fear, and stress that can be avoided if you just have an honest conversation with yourself to understand where you and your spouse or significant other stand with risk tolerance. Once you get into the negotiating and the offer process, we find it very important to have a clear picture of the past 12 to 24 months of financial records and tenant history of a property to help you make wise decisions on the level of profitability, the level of maintenance that's been performed, capital improvements that have or have not been done, etc. We often recommend that you get a good home inspector or a commercial property inspector to help you see some latent defects in the property potentially, or improvements that are going to need to be made soon after you purchase this property. We always recommend reviewing leases for each of the residents that live at this building and find out a tenant history, how long a tenant has lived at each unit, any type of dynamics, if there are potentially evictions in process that could complicate the purchase once you have the property under contract. Those are all critical details to have an understanding of before you go into the negotiation. Something else that my partner Andy and I and our team here find very valuable is to remain unemotional as an investor. It's easy for myself and probably for you as well to be emotional. Even though you're talking about an investment property, you still have, probably like I do, you have excitement about adding to your portfolio, about a location or a building that you feel strongly about. Try and leave those emotions at the door when you go into the negotiating process so you don't reveal too much about your intentions or your willingness to negotiate to the seller and the seller's agent. One other thing that I think is really important is, even though you want to have a clear understanding of any potential capital improvements that need to be made, if a roof maybe is near the end of its useful life, furnaces, boilers, hot water heaters that may be out of their usefulness, try to avoid majoring in the minors. Nitpicking a deal to death is not in your best interests, and oftentimes you can talk yourself out of what otherwise can be a very healthy transaction and a good addition to your portfolio. So I hope this has been helpful. Reach out to us if you have any other questions, and if we can't help you, we'll certainly help point you to someone that can. But I wish you the best in growing your portfolio and your next property purchase.